Will here. Back again with another Gran Turismo video, and oh god, race has already started. Oh my god. So we're going to be going through the daily races again, and this week this is race A, which is the one make at Tokyo, and as you can see, I started in second, so I did very well for qualifying. Already lost the position. That's mainly because I decided to do a little bit something different with this race this time around, and I decided to actually do this race in manual transmission, which is not something I normally tend to do. I normally tend to do automatic transmission, but this time I decided to do manual. And the reason why I lost that position is because I actually completely never got to change the gear, because obviously I'm used to doing automatic, so it's just like just leave it. But obviously I have to change gears, so it's like lost the position because of that. But coming into the first tight corner, and it was like I never made a mistake. Got back at the second already. So yeah, the Tokyo race this week. It's a bit of a weird one. It's like it's only 2 laps, and you know you're in a little tiny Daihatsu Copen, and it's just that there's nothing special or grand. You know, it's nothing special, and this, that, and the other. It's just. You take a little tiny slow piece of crap around quite a long track for it. I suppose the only nice thing about this race A this week is that with this track you can, apart from the first tight corner, so basically the first hairpin, if you want to call it that, and the last 2 corners getting onto the long straight, are really the only points where you actually need to slow down. The rest of it you can do flat out. You don't need a brake. You don't even need to ease off the accelerator. Really, you can just do it flat out. But you can see I've got Patox 30. I think it's Patox. Yeah, Patox 33 in front of me, and I got. I think that's. Ast. I'm gonna guess that's a 0-1, not an 0-1, a 0. So the number 0. So Ast 0-1 behind me, and Patox 33 in front of me. And you can see it's all pretty uneventful at the moment. Whoop-de-bloody-doo, what a nice start to the video, innit? Or uneventfulness. Now at this point, and this corner here, you don't see it, but Patox there gets himself a 5-second penalty. Which, if you get a 5-second penalty in this race at this kind of point, it's well, I suppose for him it may not be a massive disaster, because me, Patox, and Ast have all pulled out a bit of a lead on everyone else. You know, there's everyone else there. You can see more in the background. You know, we've pulled out quite a fair bit ahead. So him getting the 5-second penalty will definitely cost him 2nd and 3rd, maybe 4th position. So he may go down to 4th. I can't remember what position he finished in the end, but you know, it depends on what kind of point you're out of the race. A 5-second penalty for hitting the wall, and it's fucking game over for you. Especially if you're in the lead. Yeah, I'll go for an overtake. Good place to best place to overtake. Really, the only decent place to overtake really on this track. So I take the lead into the start, sort of around the beginning of the 2nd lap. You can see there's us sprawling up like 3 musketeers. So it's basically, at this point, it is a race between me, Patox, and Ast. But with Patox having that 5-second penalty, it's now basically a race between me and Ast. A little bit of contact between me and Patox there. Obviously, he went up from the inside. I wasn't fully aware that he was there, so a little bit of contact. But you know, it was no harm, no foul, no extra penalties to anyone else. He didn't get an extension on his. I didn't get a penalty, so you know, it's no harm, no foul. But at this point, Patox 33, really, he's dead weight at this point. He's nothing but dead weight. He's got a 5-second penalty, so he knows I'm gonna overtake him. So really, what he may as well just do, and he knows that Ast is gonna overtake him as well. So he may as well just basically move over. But the problem is he continues to kind of sort of like fight to try and keep first, which I really don't get why he does. It's kind of pointless. You know, it's like Patox, he's dead weight, mate. You move over, because all that he's now allowing is for Ast to catch up with me. But he'll start serving his penalty soon. Then I'll go back into 1st again. So you can see it's a very close race between me and Ast. Patox, he's out of it, so it's now just me and Ast. And you can see lower scope there gives a chance for Ast to catch up just a little tiny bit, but I don't think Ast is pushing too hard at this kind of time, because he knows as long as he stays close enough behind me, he could then use my slipstream on the long straight to overtake and take first place from me. So you can see Patox just served just serving his penalty now. I take first place. Coming into the only other corner you have to break out, apart from the first hairpin corner. And you can see I'm still holding first now, but you can see Ast is pretty much right behind me. Now going on, basically now we're going exiting the corner onto the long straight. Ast does have the advantage here. He's able to get into my slipstream, and he takes first. Now I tuck him back in behind him. Now what I don't get, I don't get why Ast didn't try and like swerve left and right a little bit to try and get me out of his slipstream, because he's made a crucial error here. He should have tried to move so I couldn't get in the slipstream, but he made an error and allowed me into his slipstream. But the question is there enough track left for me to overtake? And yes. And after months, I take my second first place. After months of no first place, I finally take it, because Ast made a crucial error to not allow me his slipstream. So victory. Lovely. Alright, so we are on to race C at Brands Hatch. Now unfortunately this race did not go as well. As you can see, hopefully, I qualify in 12th. So already not the best start. Unfortunately, it's not the best start. But yes, but unfortunately this race itself, it didn't go amazingly well for me. But I was kind of expecting that, because when I first found out that it was going to be Brands Hatch, I actually managed to find out before they changed the races that it was going to be Brands Hatch. And hold on, and there I go off already. Unfortunately, at first I believed there was a German driver. I can't remember what his name was. It's like Sigfrid or something like that. It's some German driver. Originally at first I thought that he hit me, which caused me to go off. But it turned out after I sort of looked back to the replay, and there was another driver called Molder_20 who ran to the back of me, which then gave me that bit of a boost right at the point when the German was trying to turn in a bit more, which then basically caused me to go off, so fall back to 15th, but I managed to climb 2 positions already. So, wasn't the best start. But no, when I first found out we were doing Brands Hatch, I was thinking, okay, and already climbed back up to now I'm back up to 11th. Now I'm in 11th place. But when I found out it was Brands Hatch, I was thinking, okay. And now I'm 10th. I'm just climbing positions. I will get onto what I'm talking about. But no, when I saw it was Brands Hatch, and I thought, okay, and I saw that it was GRX, and I thought, ooh. So I initially thought, it might be the Dallara Super Formula, but it might be the Toyota. So I thought, all right, let's go and design the Toyota. And then it turned out it was the F1500. I was like, oh. Now the F1500 is a car I haven't driven that much, because it's a bit of an oddish car, to be honest. To me, it seems very slidey. Its acceleration pattern is a bit odd. It will start accelerating slowly, and then suddenly, boom, it just kicks in with power. And then when you change gear, it sort of slows down, and then kicks in with power, and then so it's really odd. It feels odd to drive to me. Anyway, but that's just me. It just feels a bit odd to drive. And you can see that, unfortunately, in the video you do get we are getting some maintenance done on the server. Now that could be because they're just doing some server maintenance, or it could be because they got an update coming up very soon. But by the time you see this video, the update, if it is an update, because there is supposed to be an update coming up very soon. If that is to do with the update, you'll by the time this video comes out, you'll already have the update and know what's in it and this, that, and the other. But the other problem about me, the reason why this race didn't go too well for me, apart from my pretty shit driving. I didn't drive the best in this race. I will say I didn't do the best on this race in my general driving. Was, you know, it's Brantown. It's Brantown's track I haven't driven on a major load, so I don't really know all its best, especially for the F1500. I don't really know what all the best braking points are and this, that, and the other. And so it was a bit of a race for me. It was very hard for me to judge where I need to brake and this, that, and the other. So I was learning whilst I was racing, basically. So you will see like a few errors, and you might think like, oh, you've gone a bit slow in that corner, you could have gone that corner faster. So it's like, it wasn't my best driving. One, because I just didn't do the best, and two, since this track I haven't done that much. You know, certain corners I wasn't too sure about. And one corner kept bloody pissing me off in the qualifying. I kept going fucking wrong on it, and it's this corner here. That corner there, for some reason, that kept fucking me up in the qualifying. It's really bloody annoying. But back to the actual race. You can see we're still in 10th. So coming up to lap 4. So, you know, we could be doing better, but we could be doing a hell of a lot worse. I will say, I could still be in 15th, which now there is only 15 cars. There was 16. Now there's only 50, so I could be stone dead last. See that corner there, for some reason there, I don't know why, I completely buggered up on that corner. That is completely fucked me up. The German who's behind me now is the one who I believed hit me off earlier, but after watching the replay, it fully wasn't really his fault at all. But there were some people complaining about him before he even started the fucking race, so I was always a bit skeptical of him anyway. And you can see at this point, he sort of comes up behind me. He does give me a little punt to get past. Now, I don't know if it's just because he expected me to be going through that a little bit faster, or if he was just trying to push me out of the way, which isn't great. Not the best, really. And then we come up to this corner up here. You don't see it too well. We got the Russian trying to overtake. Now, I get a penalty, which I understand why I get a penalty. Unfortunately, the Russian did go off. And there was a little bit of contact between me and the Russian. So I get a 3-second penalty. Now, I know there I didn't give him a lot of space. You know, there wasn't a major load of space. So that was probably a bit of an error on my part as well. But also at the same time, since I was on the inside and then going to the outside, which is what you would normally do with a corner, if really should of the Russian of tried to overtake then, probably not. It probably wouldn't have been the best place for him to overtake. But I do get why I get the penalty, and I do believe as well that, you know, that I did make a small little error there myself as well. You know, it's not fully the Russian's fault. You know, he made a bit of an error by sort of like trying to go on the outside of a point of where I was already halfway around the corner, so he knew I was going to start going to the outside anyway. But I also made the error by unfortunately not giving him a lot of room. So me getting a 3-second penalty there, to me in my eyes, it's completely fair. It's completely fair, and even at the point of the race, I was still thinking, yeah, that's fair. I ain't got no beef with it. Right about that. I go a little bit wide, but oh well. So I dropped back down to 12th. But it's at this point, I think, like 13th is still, if I can remember correctly, they were like 20 odd seconds behind. So it was like, I lose one position, but I still got plenty of space between me and 13th. So I could just now get back on to trying to catch up with the Russian. So you can see the fastest lap is like a 1:17.6. I can't really see on my screen at the moment because the writing's all very, very small and blurred out as heck. But I'm trying to get that to it's up at 1:17.6 or 1:17.9. And you can see my last couple of laps been on 1:20, so you know they're not been the best. So I wasn't the most consistent during this race. But I will say one thing about this race though. From what I've seen, I may not race the best, but but in my opinion, I have the prettiest car. Everyone else's car was either boring or just a stock standard looking car. I have a pretty car. So fuck everyone else's ugly car, I have a pretty car. No. Nah, I mean obviously if you don't like the design, you don't like the design. I ain't gonna criticise you. But no, I may as well take something out of it. I had the prettiest car in the race, so yeah. Because I'm a pretty boy. So coming up to enter the end of lap 6. Yeah, we're not doing amazingly well, unfortunately. But we do post a faster lap of a 1:17.4. So, you know. Now I think, if I remember correctly, lap 7 is my pitting lap. And as you can see, I'm starting to catch up with 11th and sort of that small group. I think there's a group of about 3 cars there. Like 9, 10, 11, I think we're all in a bit of a small group. And I'm slowly catching up with them. Now, coming back to something I've mentioned in a couple of videos in the past, I probably want to go a bit wide there, bad judgment from me. But mentioning a couple of videos in the past, I still don't know how the car number works. Now, I've heard that it's to do with driver rating. Now, I can prove that is a whole load of bollocks. It can't be to do with driver rating. Because my driver rating is C. Now, we had a driver rating here of an S. We had someone who was in an S class and someone who was in A class. So basically, all in all, and I think there was like 1 or 2 B classes as well. So all in all, technically, people whose driver rating are much higher than mine. Yeah, I'm car number 1. How the hell does that bloody work? So it can't be to do with your driving rating. It must be just randomised. or maybe Gran Turismo also believes that I have the prettiest car, so it's giving me the number 1 first prize on the prettiest car in the race. I don't know. But it can't be due to driver rating because there's people who had a higher driver rating than me, and yet I'm car number 1. So I'm just going to see it as Gran Turismo is congratulating me on having the prettiest car there. So it's giving me the number 1 car spot. So that's our pitting lap done. You can see we lost no positions because everyone else was so far behind. 13 and 14 was so far behind. I lost no positions. So now with full tank of fuel, fresh tyres, time to go back on the attack to see if I can gain any more positions. See if I can make any positions back. Now, excuse me, I'm going to have myself a nice bit of cup of coffee. That's better. You can see some of the top leaders now are also been pitting in with that. So I've got to try and catch up with the Russian. I still don't know. I don't know why in the replays it doesn't give you the clock timers and the where you got the positions like the 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, la la la. Why it doesn't give you the split times? I just don't know why it doesn't do that. I'm just gonna guess that the split times are mainly run via the online servers. And you can see Frenchman there. I know it looks like I go for a lunge down there, but I'm just trying to get back into the outside of the corner before going on the inside of the other one. But he did move, you know, one of the back markers. Unfortunately, he's just very far behind. Because it's only lap 8, I'm finishing 12, and I'm overtaking him. That just shows how bad this race went for some other people, not just... I mean, my racing comparison today to that guy, I didn't catch his name, unfortunately. Yeah, compared to his race, my race didn't go actually all that bad at all. But, you know, it just shows you how bad this race was for some people. But he was a back marker, so he'd go start. Now I completely forgot that happens in this now. That the back markers, when a faster car is going to overtake, you ghost for that player. And I completely forgot that actually happens later on in the race. Because unfortunately I do get lapped myself. Unfortunately, that's how you see. That's how you can tell that the race goes pretty bad for you if you get lapped. So unfortunately, I don't do all 15 laps, I only do 14 laps and I get lapped. So that just shows you how badly that this race also went pretty badly for me as well. So I was in the didn't do too well club. But as you can see, I've now started to catch up with a group of 11, 9, 10, 11 at least. I don't know if 8's in that group now. No, it's just 9, 10, and 11. And you can see, without too many distractions of people around, obviously they've been busy fighting with each other the whole bloody goddamn time. So it's given me the time to catch up. Because I didn't have anyone to fight with, so I could just basically just go on the attack and just put the focus on to catching up. And now I'm like literally like a couple of seconds behind. Basically, yeah, a couple of seconds behind 10th. Basically, we're like a second behind 11th. So can I take the Spanish? Can I overtake the Spanish person? Whatever his name is, so I'm never good at remembering their names. Angled B, no. You'll see their names better on your screen when you watch the video. On my screen, I can't really see it too well at the moment because I got it on a smaller screen on how I'm setting up and doing the video, so I can't really see their names. I can only guess. So going past that horrible section, I really hate. I really hate that corner. So obviously the Spanish guy makes a little bit of a mistake there somewhere because I have taken quite easy. Yeah, and is that Angel's Beach? Maybe it's supposed to be Angel Beach. Maybe the guy likes anime as well. I don't know. So coming to lap 11, got to lap 11. Yes, position. I was going to say coming up to lap 11. We got to lap 11, lap 10. We was like, no, we're on lap 11 and now we're in position 10. Yeah, it's very early in the morning. And as you can see, I think one other person has left, and so now I'm in position 10. Still, and now I'm in position 9. So I managed to climb up now a couple more positions, in a couple positions in this lap. I think one more person does leave this race, and there he goes. Yeah, there's another English driver. He went off there. He got a 3-second penalty. He went off. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I've got a feeling he may have been hit off by the German, but I don't know. With how the German person was driving, because I did watch his replay a little bit of how he was driving and okay, I can't criticise because my driving wasn't probably the best in this race either, but he was all over the place compared to my driving. This guy was all over the place. He was literally wibbly wobbly all the time. So it wouldn't surprise me if German did it, but without seeing it, I don't know. So I can only guess what happened. But since with him with that English driver leaving, or at least the British driver, because he could be Welsh or Scottish, I now climb into 8th place. And there's still 13 cars in the race. As I said earlier, also I did get overlapped because you can see just there now, the first place is there. So I only ended up doing 14 laps of this race rather than 15, because I suck. Considering I got first place in the last race. But this race didn't do too well. Now, see, I only went wide there because I completely forgot that if you're gonna get overlapped by someone, you do actually ghost for them, and I completely forgot. So I go wide there, and then all of a sudden he goes wide, completely buggers up there, and I take 8th position back. Coming up to lap 13, you know, I'm in the place where I was, personally myself, I was expecting to come in around this area, around this position, around the position 8th position, so like anywhere between like position 7 and 10. That's where I was reckon I would end up basically finishing, because the qualifying 12th, and I know I normally tend to do a bit better in the race than I do in qualifying normally. So I was thinking I'll probably most likely raise a couple of positions in the race, but I don't. But due to my, I suppose you could say, inexperienced Brands Hatch, especially the full version of the track, I wasn't expecting for any kind of miracles of basically higher positions. And unfortunately, at this point, someone's not managed to knock off the bloody whiteboards that are there to help people know when a braking zone. So I had to keep fucking guessing when a braking zone was because I didn't know where it was. I had to kind of sort of, I had that little white board you have on the side of the track. It's like, right, that's that. When I get to that point, that's where I'm going to brake. Crap, it's gone. Where do I brake? You know. So that didn't help. But lucky enough, it's near the end, so it was like, kind of by that point, I had a rough idea of where to brake, roughly. So coming up onto the last lap, I'm basically got 8th, because due to my mistake on lap 13, I lost ground on the German, and I think the German in the end did have a slightly faster pace than me as well anyway. So, but it's basically at this point I've got 8th, I finished in 8th basically. So now it's just basically just get to the end and get this race over and done with. But all in all, yes, wasn't my best race, but all in all, I did alright. Considering, in my eyes at least, in my eyes anyway, at least, I did alright because I wasn't expecting to do too well. So, you know, I'm not going to argue with 8th place. Considering that at the start of the race I got knocked down to 15th. So, I'm not going to argue with 8th. But, at the end of the day, I still had the prettiest car. And considering that Gran Turismo, the game put me the car number 1, it also agrees with me that I have the number 1 best looking car in the entire race. So, screw everybody else's design. But no, that's the end of race C. So we got one more race to go, and that will be race B at the Red Bull Ring with Group 3. And here we are in the final race, final part of this video. You can see I'm in my McLaren F1. Qualified 8th, so kind of my normal kind of qualifying position. I had to practice this track a little bit because I kind of completely forgot where all the fucking breakpoints were on this track. I was thinking like, yeah, let's see, you know. So I kept racing around this track when it came out, and then at points I kept racing around it, and then I stopped, and then this came up, and I was like, shit, I don't know where all the braking points are. I completely forgot. So that's a good start, isn't it? Yeah. But climbing at 7th, first corner getting 7th. The second corner is was the corner in this race that I had most trouble with. Either because it you know, a lot of time bunching up with people, so you know, there was not great. Now that guy, the other guy spin up there, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he spun up because my racing line for that corner was so bad. I won't be surprised if it was, but considering by the fact that I didn't get a penalty there, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if I made a mistake then and he went all basically squiff because of my terrible cornering at that point, and whoever that was that went all squiff, sorry. But you know, if I do make mistakes and this cause other people to go wrong, I don't do them intentionally. I don't intentionally try and fuck people up. It's not in my intention to bugger people up. So, but I do get a bit better at that corner over time. I think I still, but that's the problem. It's like that corner. That corner is tighter than what you're probably expecting that it's going to be. So it's sort of like I was trying to get used to that. So I do manage to get up to 6th in the end. The track limits on this track, I don't know if they've been changed. So that's why I've always been a bit cautious as well. Coming up to the second corner, I'm in 5th. Try to go on the inside. A little bit of a bump there, a little bit of a bump. Wasn't the smoothest overtake, I will grant you. He keeps 4th, but I think I do incur a penalty here as well. But again, it's a penalty that I received, which I do think it's like fair enough. I'll put my hands up. No, probably wasn't my best corner, probably wasn't the best overtake. So again, penalty, but I'm perfectly fine with getting that penalty. So the penalties I've got so basically the penalties I've got throughout these 3 races of any penalties that I've had, I am perfectly fine with getting them. Because it's like, yeah, I probably did go wrong there. I probably did make the mistake, so I'll have that penalty. And it does, it does get a bit costly. If I drop down the 7th very briefly, then get the 6th, and then immediately climb back up the 4th. So I didn't really lose all that much actually, considering. That's because everybody else who's now behind me buggered up. So it didn't really cost me all that much in the end. I think really effectively actually in the end all it cost me was just 1 position in the end. Oh no, it's the 3rd lap because this is a 5 lap race, if I can remember correctly. It's 5 laps. So no, we're still actually doing quite well. Yeah, I had that penalty and I made that mistake, but we're actually we're doing quite well. And I haven't been intentionally being a dirty driver. And then the guy behind me, he completely bugs up and just loses it, and so he didn't get a chance to overtake, and I come overtake the, I think that's Italian. I can never remember the flags, so do excuse me if I make a mistake with flags. I'm rubbish. I'm alright at flags, but I'm rubbish at geography. No, over around. I'm alright at geography, but I'm rubbish at flags. I'm rubbish with English as well, apparently. But no, we take an overtake, get a nice clean overtake, and we take 3rd place. Going up to this bit here, which is another one. There's a shadow on the floor. I can't remember where the shadow is exactly. I can't really tell you here because it would be too hard to see it here. But that's what I use my braking point. There's a shadow on the track, and it's like, right, that's where I'm gonna brake. But I do go back down to 4th, do lose my position. Now coming on to the 4th lap, and another sip of the coffee. Lovely. Now the first corner, no drama, nice and smooth, no drama at all. And see, I hate the thing I didn't like about this point was if you start catching up with the person ahead of you, right near the 2nd corner. I hate that kind of point because it's like, do you try to take a take or do you hold back? Because it's easy to bugger someone up there, as well as it can be quite easy for you to bugger yourself up there. It's kind of like, yeah, what do you do? It's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. But we got our own little group now, so technically a fight for 2nd position. There is a fight for 2nd place. I'm on the back foot of it, but I'm still within shout. I'll possibly even get in 2nd. So you never know. But we'll see what happens in the rest of the race, because I think we are coming up to the final lap very shortly, if I can remember correctly. I believe we're coming up to the last lap anyway. I fucking literally can't remember. I haven't been keeping track. So we're coming up to what I believe is the last lap now. So the fight for 2nd is still technically on. Going out there, still in 4th, but still within that group. Nice little tiny niche group for us. The 2 English and what I believe is Italian. And then I try and overtake. I go for a slightly messy overtake, but I keep the position. I overtake everybody because they both had penalties, unfortunately, at that point. And I just get away. Their penalties were very short, so yeah. But so technically, I haven't secured 2nd place just yet. I could still bottle it. I could still go off into the shadow realm and fuck everything up. But we'll have to see what happens. Coming into this corner, so I got no more penalties to serve. So I don't need to worry about slowing down for a penalty because I don't have one. So it's nice, just race to the finish now. But Do they have what it takes to catch up? Are they have the ability to overtake? They're not too far behind. I can still bugger it up here. On the inside. We're going outside. Going up to the last straight. Flashing his lights. And get second place. So all in all, this week, apart from race C, race B and race A went absolutely lovely like. And I can't and I'm not gonna complain about those races. But that's it for all 3 races. So, until the next time, you know what I'm going to say. Yeah. See you at the finishing line.